Good afternoon. Welcome to the Elizabeth Dole Foundation's virtual summit for Hidden Heroes community leaders. This is the first summit we've hosted exclusively for our Hidden Heroes cities and counties.
We're going to have Kansas City, Missouri Councilwoman Heather Hall and Missouri Dole Fellow Shawn Moore. They will be sharing the incredible work they have done together in Kansas City through the Hidden Heroes City and Counties program. I have to tell you that these two they really demonstrate the power created when local leaders and Dole Caregiver Fellows join forces. The things they have done are incredible. Together, they implement real, impactful change in their communities. So thank you for all that you two are doing.
And I'm so honored to be here side by side with you. This has been a journey we have taken together, and I'm so grateful that you invited me along on this journey. My husband is also a military veteran. He served in Desert Storm while he was younger. And so he understands what it's like for military veterans in battle. And, you know, we don't always know what's going to happen when they come home. And each one of them has a different story to tell. And the hard part with that, and what I found so interesting when you invited me on this journey, is that so many of the wounds are so invisible, and we can't always see and understand how the people come back and with their reactions. And one of the most exciting things that I have found in this journey with you and the Elizabeth Dole Foundation is I, like so many Americans, only are grateful for the veterans. We say, thank you, veteran, thank you, veteran, thank you, veteran, but we always never look to the person on their left or their right and say, thank you, veteran caregiver, because we don't know what you do. And so for Senator Dole and Steve and the whole team at the Dole Foundation and Hidden Heroes to introduce this to us and open our eyes to the world of caregivers has been extraordinary. And I'm so grateful to be a part of it. So that's what we're working on
here. Councilwoman Hall, I want to begin by discussing, we went into it a little bit, but our working relationship. Many of the city and county officials who are watching us today may be unfamiliar with how they can work alongside Dole Caregiver Fellows, such as myself, representing each one of our states.
Yes.
I've learned so much through your leadership and ability to work side by side with you. Can you share with us why Kansas City became a Hidden Heroes city and how you work with fellows like myself?
Absolutely. Well, you know, Shawn, the easiest, quickest way to work together is for a Dole Fellow to reach out to their local elected people, whether it's at the city level or the county level, and say, I want us to work together to become a Hidden Hero city or county. And it's very simple. We have legislation we're happy to share with anyone to show how easy it is to write a resolution to make this happen. And then it just takes a majority of the votes of the people on that council or commission to enact it into law. It's very simple. It does not cost anything except for our time. So I would say, and I would encourage to every city or county official listening, do it. It doesn't take anything out of your time. You can spend as many hours or as few hours as you want to be involved, as much money or as little money as you want to be involved. But what you need to do is you need to get involved, because the people that are voting for you, that are caring about what you're doing for your cities and your counties, are our veterans and our caregivers, and they need to know that we have their backs. So it's very simple.
Thank you, Councilwoman Hall. I appreciate our partnership as we work together and support and address the need for military and veteran caregivers. I would like to showcase some of the initiatives that we have done together. One of the first things that we did, like everyone, we need to know what our caregivers in our communities, what are their wants? What are their needs? It may be different depending on where you're living at and the makeup of the veterans and caregivers in your community. Once we found that out, the second focus group we had was for businesses and organizations in our Kansas City metro area. We conducted a panel discussion with local caregivers during this focus group, so those businesses and organizations in attendance could ask the caregivers questions. But what was wonderful about this is then we were able to pair what our wants and needs of caregivers are with local organizations and businesses and how we can all come together to support this population. Heather
Yeah.
also authored a proclamation during Suicide Prevention Month and invited caregivers to present at the City Council. This is so important. It is a personal passion of mine, suicide prevention, because my husband not only suffers from PTSD, but has suicidal tendencies, and he has also had an attempt in 2017. So that's very important to me. Another thing that we did, so one of the things that Heather has done along with the city is supported what we call our mental health and wellness restorative weekends, which Caregivers on the Home Front, our organization, brings many caregivers throughout the United States and here locally. And Heather helped that initiative by providing not only in-kind donations, but monetary. And one of the things that we just recently did through the pandemic, since we can't get out and support caregivers through support groups and face-to-face, I came up with the idea after seeing seniors graduate and the yard signs in their yards, recognizing what they had accomplished. And I thought, gosh, wouldn't that be a really neat thing for us to do? Get yard signs that say, I'm a military caregiver or I'm a veteran caregiver, and take them all through the state of Missouri, as well as Kansas City here. And we just had a wonderful time doing that and letting caregivers know that we see them, and also giving them resources to help them navigate not only their challenges as caregiving, because they've always had that. COVID just has exacerbated that. So out of all those, along with bus passes that our veterans got, but one of the things that I brought to Heather was, well, what if they need a caregiver to go with them to their VA appointments? What about the caregiver? So Heather enacted that as well. So out of all those initiatives, which one of those are you proudest of? And what do you hope to accomplish with the Hidden Heroes Cities and Counties program in 2021?
Oh, it's sure hard to pick one because all of them have had a ripple of effects on the caregivers. So very important. I will say probably the first one was the focus group because it really opened our eyes to what they actually needed. One caregiver might have a completely different experience than another caregiver, which means that their needs are so completely different, but yet so vital to their day in and day out life. So the focus group really opened our eyes to where we needed to go. And for me, it was easy for me to talk to our president and CEO of the KCATA, Robbie Mackinnon, and say, hey, will you please give the veterans free bus rides? And he was like, well, of course we'll do that. But what I never thought of, because I was ignorant and didn't know to ask the right question until the focus group, was I didn't know to ask for a caregiver to get a free bus pass, which seems so obvious now. So really, it's just been the constant evolution and education of our partnership, which has allowed me to get more understanding every day of a different type of need that our caregivers and their veterans need. And so I think it's evolving, and there are so many more things that we want to accomplish. I think going forward, a key component that we've been working on, and I'm grateful to Senator Elizabeth Dole for helping, she wrote the letter that we co-signed to blast out to everybody in Missouri and the Kansas City area to say, please make your cities and counties a Hidden Hero City. It's super easy, but it's the first step to so many other positive steps that we can take to support them. And I'm also really concerned and hopeful at the same time of how the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic will have on the health, the mental health and well-being really of our caregivers and their veterans, because we just know that with all of the sheltering in place and not being able to do the things they need to do or go to appointments they need to go to, that's causing a ripple of negative effects that we need to stop. And so I'm really hopeful that we can continue to do our restorative weekends, help our caregivers know how very much we love them and want to continue to help them guide their way. So I'm hopeful that that's what we can do. You know, I'm your partner forever, so I'm going to help you whenever, as long as you want me to, that's for sure. I'm excited about that.
Well, I think one of the key points that you said right there is education, right? And
Yeah.
that is what is so important in regard to this program. What advice would you give to cities and counties who have maybe passed a resolution and are unsure of how to get started in supporting military and veteran caregivers?
I would say do the focus group, do what we've done. It was the easiest, most quick way for us to actually engage and find out what we didn't know. And so I would first of all say you need to do that. Second of all, I would say we will help you do that. And if they need guidance or they want us to come in and help administer those, either virtually or otherwise, I'm up for that, because if we don't, then we just have a piece of paper that says we're a veteran, a hidden hero, caregiver city, but that doesn't mean anything if it's just hanging on my wall. And so we have to put that resolution into action.
You are spot on. Thank you so very much, Councilwoman Hall. We appreciate you being here. I appreciate you personally for everything that you have done for us. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. Thank you for your commitment to supporting military and veteran caregivers, and for working with Dole Caregiver Fellows, such as myself, and the foundation to increase resources, supports that work to address the needs of our hidden heroes. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. It's truly my pleasure and my honor. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Shawn and Heather. That was amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, before we transition to our breakout groups, I wanted to raise one point for all of us to keep in mind today. One of the biggest and most fundamental challenges every community will face is the challenge of reaching military caregivers. This is difficult because most caregivers do not identify themselves as caregivers. So every outreach effort will need to involve a definition and examples of what we mean when we say caregivers. There are also very few existing channels for reaching caregivers. The VA has made remarkable progress at a national level, and there are wonderful caregiver coordinators at the local level. So certainly make the VA a part of your outreach, while also remembering that a large segment of caregivers are not connected with the VA. Also, reach out to the local veterans organizations in your community. Those range from the Legion to VFW to Wounded Warrior Project. There's lots in local communities around the country, and share with them what you learned today. They will share with you and help you network with members of your community. And of course, please work with our amazing Dole Caregiver Fellows.